Hello, statistics students. Welcome to your online class. Got a couple of changes that we need to talk about here on Blackboard, so let's get started. So here is what your class will look like when you log in to your home screen. A couple of important buttons over here on the left that we need to talk about. The first is orientation. Start here. That's where this video is. Hopefully you started here. And here you will see the video posted as soon as I'm finished making it. Next important thing is course contacts. These are things you need to add to your phone so you can get a hold of me in case your computer goes down. Here's my information here. Here's my lovely picture. If you have any questions about your Campbell accounts, your Blackboard specifically, Blackboard's down here. Make sure you have that information written down somewhere. I am just a user on Blackboard, just like you. I do not have any administrative privileges. I can't fix your passwords. I can't do any of that. So please make sure that you have these, the help desk and the Blackboard support, written down somewhere so you can get a hold of them in case anything happens to your account. Next up is the syllabus and the schedule. Please make sure you read the syllabus. It's right here. The syllabus test you will need to take during week number 1. If you open up your syllabus, please, again, make sure that you read this entire thing. There's a lot of good information in there. We'll answer a lot of your questions. Course outcomes, how grading is done, all of that stuff is all in here. Attendance, a little bit about online etiquette, how to talk to each other online is kind of important. It's a skill that we're not really teaching in other classes, so it's kind of important that you know that even though this is an online class, you still should be respectful to others, and you don't write messages in text. You write them as if you're actually writing in an English class. Some tips for success in here. I know online classes are kind of difficult sometimes because of you have to create your own schedule, so please make sure you take some time to read that. Make sure you read this section on the time commitment. I have a recommended online work schedule to help keep you on track every week, and every week is set up the same. Everything's due on Sunday at midnight. So if you stay with the schedule, you should be well on track to be done. Again, everything is due Sunday. No extensions, final deadlines are all deadlines. So please make sure that you have everything ready. But the most important page, after we get through all the campus requirements, is going to be the weekly schedule. So every week, you will see all the sections that we will cover. And yes, the first 2 weeks are kind of heavy, and I know that. I do that on purpose. That way, once we get this is all the review stuff. This is most of the stuff that you've probably already seen in high school. So most of this should be new, should be old. Some of it may be new, but not too much of it should be brand new to anybody. There are all these assignments over here, and when they're due, notice the syllabus assessment is due midnight on Thursday. Your Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and your assessment are all due on Sunday. Everything is due on Sunday, except for that syllabus assessment. So anything that's not due by Sunday, I have a little asterisk next to it so you can kind of tell. So anyway, so week by week, you'll see after that we'll just do 1 chapter per week. The last week is the final exam. There is no homework due that week. There are reviews that are posted. They're not going to be graded though. They're just for you to review. Your discussion posts are due midnight on Thursday that week, and then your final exam is due Friday by midnight. Again, no extensions because the class ends Saturday, and I need a day to contact you in case there's something wrong or we need to work something out. Anyway, so that is the syllabus. All right. Let's go back. Okay, so there's your syllabus test right there. Here are some resources that you might find interesting. The homework. Here are the instructions right here on how to access your online homework. Here's a link to get to it if you forget. There's some formula sheets with tables. These have all the formulas from your book. I have this one. I think is from another textbook. It's still the same formulas, pretty much the same chapters. I just happen to really like this formula sheet and the way it's laid out. There's some notes here about working with binomial distributions when you get to that section. So any other resources that you would like me to add to here, please feel free. Just drop me a line and I can add those. Here's your discussion board. Again, you'll have a discussion every single week. Make sure that you post your 1 initial post and your 2 follow-up posts every week. All right, weekly content. Here's the big stuff. Okay, so every week there will be a chapter. These are all the outcomes. Now, these are very specific outcomes. So don't be daunted. I know there's 17 of them, but it's really not that. A lot of them are very interconnected. If you click on that folder, you will find videos. I have posted videos. I've tried to find multiple videos for every single section. So the sections are covered. Here's some technical notes about working with Excel and your graphing calculator. All of those notes are also in your textbook, usually at the end of the section or at the end of each chapter. So feel free to look at those. Use whatever technology you prefer. If you prefer graphing calculator, use that. If you prefer Excel, use that. If you prefer to use StatCrunch, which is included in my Stat Lab, feel free to use that as well. Anyway, but I have posted multiple, as you can see, lots and lots. Some of these, like I say, if it's not from our textbook, it's from another textbook, but it's similar to the information. Statistics is pretty much the same no matter which textbook you use, so that's the nice part. Feel free to use YouTube as well. Lots and lots of videos on there. Anyway, so you have a folder for each week, every week. If you scroll down to the end, final exam week, there's a practice final. Again, this is an older one from my seated course. It's not for a grade. The answer key is included. There's the, here's the practice. Here's the review. Here are some videos that my seated class did with the review, so you can kind of listen to me give explanations as you follow along. The packets might be slightly different because they changed over the years, but at least these videos may help you out. And I apologize for the fact that sometimes we get off topic. My seated classes tend to do that sometimes. Let's see. Here's a link to my Stat Lab, just to get the homework started. All your grades and feedback are right here. Tools and communications, if you need to send emails or announcements or whatever. Smart Thinking is a free tutoring that is offered through Campbell. They do statistics, which is nice. So if you can make appointments with them, which is kind of cool. So you log in with your Campbell information. If you click on that, it'll ask you immediately for a login. Use your same user and password that you use for your Campbell account. And that will get you into the Smart Thinking. So it's nice also to have. But I want to talk a little bit about my Stat Lab. So when you register for the course, this is what you're going to see. Of course, mine might be slightly different because I'm the instructor. Again, when it comes to my Stat Lab, I am not an administrator. I do not have any privileges. All I can do is work on the assignments that I have assigned to you and look at your scores. That's all I can do. I can't reset your password. I can't do any of that. So please make sure that you have some Pearson information written down as well, because that might be another person you might need to contact. Anyway, make sure you do a browser check. My Stat Lab says it's compatible with Safari, but all of my students who use iProducts have had a problem with that. So I would recommend using Chrome or Firefox. Those usually are the best. There are tutoring services as well available from Pearson, but I think that once you get in here and you see what's available, you will. I don't think that you will need those tutoring services. Your homework. Here we go. So, I have created homework for you. It's just not showing up on here because you guys have not started yet. Anyway, there will be homework. Let's see, if I go to my Manage View, you can see. As you can see, you have been assigned. It just doesn't start until August 9th, so that's why it's not showing up on there. So there is homework that is due. It'll tell you when it's available and when it's due. All the homework is due at midnight. So again, everything's due Sunday at midnight. Over here, the multimedia library. This is probably the most important button. This button, you can access everything that they have available. So say you're struggling, say you're in chapter 5, I don't know, we'll just make one up, probability distributions, and you are struggling getting ready for the test. So if you click here, chapter test prep videos, and press find now, it'll give you, there you go, there's the chapter 5 quiz prep video. So it'll actually get you ready. If you don't want that, it can give you these section video lectures. Those are the ones that I like the best. These video lectures have been done by the authors of the textbook. They coincide perfectly with your textbook, and notice they're brought down by sections. So if you're having a hard time with the central limit theorem, then you go right here to 5.4, you watch that video. It's rather nice. I really enjoy these videos, and I find that they're really helpful. Anyway, all right, so make sure that you utilize that multimedia library. Again, also utilize YouTube. It's also a great thing. And there's your grade book right there. So anyway, make sure that you get comfortable. Spend the first couple days just kind of moving around, getting used to my Stat Lab. Anyway, all right, so that is a tour of what we're going to see on Blackboard and my Stat Lab. Again, these are the only two things you're going to be using. Again, you don't need a hard copy of the textbook. Some students prefer it. I personally am one of those people. I like having pages to turn. I like looking at the book. I like highlighting and writing notes in the margins. Some people don't. When you get my Stat Lab, there is an e-copy of the text that is included. So if you also go to the multimedia library, there's the multimedia textbook. And if, say, it's just chapter 5 we're looking at. So again, you can just click on 5.1 and hopefully eventually it'll open up. There we go. So here's the e-copy of the textbook that'll pull right up if you have a faster internet connection than I do. Okay, anyway, so here's what the textbook looks like. All the sections are there. So again, you have everything is at your fingertips online. You don't really need a hard copy of the book. All right, I think that is all we have to talk about. Please make sure you email me if you have any questions. That's what I'm here for. If you have any particular problems that you would like me to work out and make a video and post them, please ask me to do that as well. You will find some here and there that I've already posted for other students, but I just kept them up for my future classes. But I'm more than happy to do that as well. All right, thank you very much. If you need anything, let me know. Please don't wait until the last minute. Remember, I'm not sitting at my computer 24 hours a day waiting for those emails to come in, so you give me a little bit of time to respond. And it'll go very quickly, our 8 weeks together. All right, have a good term, and I will see you at the final.